everybody! Welcome to Dirty Sliders Podcast number 34. We are hitting it off hard tonight with the five of us. Our Mr. Phil Comfort is out for the evening, but you get the rest of us, so you get the best of us. We got some great things coming. National racing, $100,000 to win, all kinds of good shit going on tonight. So grab a bottle of skeet and enjoy the show. If you guys like it, tell us. If you hate it, tell us. Comment, like, subscribe, be our friends. Come on, boys. What we got tonight?
Let's start off with a comeback story. I'm familiar with this guy.
Let's go.
Goes way back. First time I saw him race was at Santa Maria Speedway, and I thought, what a madman. This guy, probably one of the most talented drivers I've ever seen. We're talking about Tyler Walker. In his prime, in his day, he was every bit as good, if not better, than Kyle Larson is now in a sprint car. Just a monster. Yeah, he's won in just about every aspect of sprint car racing, winged and non-winged, better with a wing. World Outlaws feature winner, winner of the King's Royal at Eldora. In fact, I got a picture of him getting his crown. This is Tyler Walker in 2011, being proclaimed King Tyler Walker. You know how they do King's Royal. And if you win that race, that's a crown jewel. So the guy's legit, every bit as good as they come. And then, how should I say this? He liked recreational pharmaceuticals of the stimulant variety.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, he was known for messing around a little bit, and it got the best of him. He showed his ass at tracks a few times, and everybody just kind of chalked it up to being Walker, Tyler Walker being Tyler Walker. His family is still in and around racing. They own Walker Filtration, which is they do all the big sprint car filters and stuff like that. This guy, nationwide story of what the 3-state high-speed police chase in his BMW through California, Arizona, Nevada, with drugs in the car, and a young lady of questionable reputation in the car with him. He just both, from the penthouse to the outhouse. I went into this, the reason we're talking about it tonight is because he's made a racing comeback. He raced the NARC show at Placerville. Did not make the A feature. Couldn't make it out of the B, but ran well in Danny Torgerson's car. My feelings about Danny Torgerson have been well documented on previous podcasts, but to put Tyler Walker in his family car, which is normally driven by Ashton Torgerson, I'll give the guy credit. That's, he did a good thing. It's nice to see Tyler back behind the wheel. I don't know the circumstances, but he's in a back brace for allegedly 5 broken vertebrae and 8 broken ribs. I don't know the whole story of that. I looked all around for that and couldn't find anything. I don't know, what's going on there. I don't know if that's just, previous injuries and why he has a back brace. I can't see him getting in a sprint car with that many active current injuries. But if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Tyler Walker because, like I said, the guy's a madman. But I thought I knew this story because first time I saw Tyler Walker race was at Santa Maria, and like I said, just back in the day, he was the new up-and-coming talent, and just threw that away with both hands. Well, then once I got to looking around on his Facebook and stuff, I started finding stuff like this here. Like this is Tyler Walker now. And it gets even better. That's a screen grab from a video, and here's the video.
How recent was that video?
That's 2024.
So last year.
Damn.
Yeah, pretty darn recent. So yeah, here's the video. He's working on a motorhome. It's-
Not a new one, that's for sure.
No.
Kind of feel like it might have a couple Bunsen burners in the back.
Drugs
Yeah,
will do
so-
terrible things to
No.
people.
Yeah.
yeah. So that's that's a tweaker. If there's no other description for it. And this is a picture of Tyler back in the day. Neil will appreciate this one.
Yeah.
And if you can't tell by this picture, Tyler's a little dude, man, because he ain't a whole lot taller.
he ain't that much bigger.
Um, but that's him when he was looking healthy, and probably using back then. I don't know the whole extent. And I'm not judging the guy for having a drug issue. I am a recovering drug addict. I've been there. I've been addicted to heroin. I've been addicted to cocaine. I've been addicted to speed, pills, you name it. Fortunately for me, I have, gotten clean, gotten away from drugs. And he, according to his most recent Facebook post, he was 38 days clean, and that was 2 or 3 days ago. So, let's call it 40 days clean, hopefully. I'd
Yeah.
love to see the guy get back on track, but he's no spring chicken nowadays. I think he's 46 now. Just an immense tragic loss of talent. And I mean, he just the video that I just shared, he's living on Skid Row in LA, basically homeless. He is in a program right now, according to his Facebook post, and the podcast that shall remain nameless for obvious reasons. It rhymes with Raz, but it ain't Raz. Had him on for an interview, and he talked about some of the stuff that the guy's going through, and I really hope the guy's getting it together. If nothing else, just for to be a decent human being. But if he can get back behind the wheel of a race car again and showcase some of that potential that we saw when he was, I think when I saw him race first, he was 16, 17 years old, and had got the attention of a lot of people. So I mean, drugs are a terrible thing. I can tell you that from my own life. I at my peak of drug use, I was 145 pounds at 6'2". So I mean, it's I'm more than 100 pounds heavier than that now, and a heck of a lot healthier. But I wallowed in it. But Tyler appears to have wallowed in it a little further than I did. And if for some reason, Tyler, you happen to see this podcast and you need any help with your recovery, man, send me a message. I will help you any way I can. I would love to see you get your life back together and become the person that you have the potential to be. I believe in you. Like I said, phenomenal talent behind a sprint car, and showed some flashes of speed at Placerville the first time he had been in a sprint car in 9 years.
That's awesome. I have experience from that way of life, but I mean, maybe just getting back in a race car is just what he needs to get back on the right track. If he's already doing work, getting in that race car might just push it, give him that extra edge. So yeah, that's awesome.
He's had this situation before where he quote unquote cleaned up and got back in a race car, and it wasn't enough. I don't know what Tyler needs in his life to be enough. I know, speaking for myself, I had to hit bottom and slide it along the bottom for a long time. Fortunately, you guys never knew me when I was like that, but I will tell you, I was a piece of shit human being at that point. I did terrible things to people that I'm not proud of. So, acts of violence, acts of theft, lying, cheating. And I was all that. And I try to live my life a little bit better now, and I'm happy for what I have today, and I owe everything I have to Narcotics Anonymous, getting clean and getting my life, up and going. So I don't regret. I regret some of the things I did, but I'm not ashamed of it. It's just part of who I am.
Yeah.
And like I said, I hope Tyler finds what he needs. Like I said, just I don't know if you could probably go and find some videos. The guy could wheel a race car. That's a lot of background noise there, Brandon.
There you go. He's good.
I don't know what else to say. I mean, what do you guys got regarding Tyler?
So I've seen some. I don't know if it was a documentary or not, but I've seen some footage and some articles and whatnot about him, and it's pretty much mimics everything you said. Is this guy was a kid coming into sprint car racing and was going to set the whole fucking world on fire in the sprint car industry, and then next thing you know, he just kind of vanishes because of drugs and whatnot. But to go back and touch on this race at Santa Maria this last weekend with him,
Placerville.
Placerville, sorry, yeah. I saw that he was running that Torgerson car with a 360 engine at a 410 show and placed 7th in a B feature.
Yeah, which I think they took 5. He missed it by a little bit. I'm share one more picture with us. This is him posing with Ryan Bernal, who hang on. For some reason now it's not popping up here. One more try. Yeah, here we go. So that's him in the back brace on the left. The guy in the black hoodie is Charlie Butcher. He helps out Jimmy May, who's I worked with him at Chili Bowl. Jimmy May is the guy who does the Woodland car and did Hunter Schoenberg's car, Tom Dunkel's. The guy in the NOS shirt needs no introduction. That's Ryan Bernal, who won at Placerville. And so, I don't know what aspect Ryan or Tyler was helping out, but he's longtime friends with Jimmy May. He ran a Josh JFM car back in the day. I said I don't know the circumstances behind the back brace, but like I said, that's this weekend. And people around him, Charlie's saying good things about Tyler. So I really, really hope the guy pulls it together, man. I really do. I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, to go from the pinnacle, if I'm not mistaken, I think he got some NASCAR truck rides at some point. I'd have to look that up.
Yeah, he was in Cup a little bit.
And
not Cup, but yeah.
So I mean, had the world by the tail and threw it all away, and then from that to living homeless on in literally like Skid Row, MacArthur Park, in downtown LA. I saw a bunch of posts where he was posting stuff for sale, and I'm like, it kind of looks stolen to me. But
can I get a receipt with this?
Yeah, but that's not recent stuff. That's years and years ago. So I'm not trying to throw dirt on the guy. Like I said, I liked him when he was when he was up and coming racer, and I want nothing but the best for him now. So anyway,
that's where you want to find a drug dealer and bust him in the mouth because he fucking drug dealers sometimes fuck up some really good people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I mean, there's no victims. It's all volunteers. It's one of those things you.
Well, somebody introduced him to the nonsense to begin with, and that's usually where it starts. Is you get introduced to it by somebody that's usually close to you, and then.
Well, if you've never been around it, then you're either living under a fucking rock or you're in the middle of nowhere.
Well, and the thing is, it comes down to personalities. Like I have an addictive personality, so anything I like, I'm addicted to. Once I used drugs and I liked them, I was addicted to them. And then it was race cars, and then it was RC cars, and then it was motorcycles, and then it was things that go bang bang, and it's the nature of who I am, and it's there's a certain lifestyle to it that there's an old joke. You know, when if we want to know the difference between an alcoholic and a drug addict, an alcoholic will steal your wallet, go get drunk, come back and cry on your shoulder and tell you how sorry he was for doing it. A drug addict will steal your wallet, go get high, come back and help you look for it.
Yeah.
That's a valid statement.
But and I think it sounds like Tyler got pretty famous pretty quick and got a lot of talk around him when he was younger. And then, you know, you win the King's Royal, which is a ton of money, and you don't really know what to do with it. And to what
The rock and roll
Brandon says,
lifestyle.
the rock and roll lifestyle, exactly. Somebody says, "Hey, let's go out and do this. This is cool." And
Well,
then
and when you're the next big thing, when you're Tyler Walker and you're Carl
Yeah.
Larson or you're Corey Day or Corey Eliason, you know, you get smoke blown up your ass. You know, like, hey, you're the next big thing, man. You're going to be going places. And some people keep their head together. You know, Kyle Larson's the obvious example. The guy's, you know, at the top of the heap right now, and he's still humble. You know, you listen to interviews with the guy, and he's still a humble kid and he's not a kid anymore. He's a father, and you know, owns businesses and everything else. But he's just he still sounds really humble. And I think when you talk to really good racers who started young, Rico's a good example. You know, still really humble. And Tyler never had that humility. He was cocky. He was arrogant. He was brash. Which is nothing against that.
No.
That's it's a
That's
it's
type
a
A
fun show.
personality.
It's a fun show when they're like that. You know, Kyle Busch made a career out of it. You know, there's many others. Speaking of brash, we'll get to it later in the Knoxville deal. But congrats to Damian Gardner on going to the USAC Hall of Fame. He went on. So anyway, what's our next topic, Thomas?
Yeah.
We're gonna throw it at Neildon. There was some excitement this weekend with High Limit, and we want to hear about it.
I'm back, baby. So I'll start off with.
Well, most
No, it's
people
not
were
my favorite
excited.
person.
One was not excited.
So we'll say there's a shake-up in the points, and I have to give a round of applause to High Limit officials because co-owner and series leader Brad Sweet crossed the line and bypassed the scales with a flat tire. Just, I got a flat tire, I'm going to the pits kind of mentality. And that's a no-no. He didn't go to the scales, so they DQ'd him and put him back to 25th place. As one, co-owner of the series, and two, as the points leader. So, I mean, two huge hits for a guy. And they're like, so much luck, boys. You didn't follow the rules? Back in the pack you go.
Well-
so, from me to them,
Yeah,
round of applause
that takes
for sure.
balls.
Well, there
Yeah.
was
So,
so
basically tell your boss, you fucked up, your problem, not mine.
But wasn't there something that happened
It
to
was-
lead
yeah.
to that point?
So there, he basically the flagman miscounted the laps and threw the white on the checker to the checkered on the after lap, and Brad saw the white flag, took it off the track, and then went straight to his pit. And then the race director wasn't where he was supposed to be because he couldn't see the track. And by the time he got on the radio and said, "Hey, you, and you go to Tech top 3," Brad was already parked and out and done. So, I mean, I'm not the one that's coming up with this. This was said by somebody else, but Brad is way too damn fucking experienced, 6-time running National Sprint Car Series champion, to get a podium spot and not go to Tech.
Exactly. So, I mean, the lap count, I didn't bring that up. To me, it's a mute point. You know you're running third. Or you know
Yeah,
you're
but
right fucking there.
He thought he blew the tire on the white flag lap and pulled it to the pit area. He didn't know the
Right.
checkered
Yeah.
flag was supposed to be coming out when the white flag was waving.
So
Yes.
yes, so my question would be, why does your race director, one, sit somewhere he can't see the track, and two, move when it's that close to the?
Well, I think he could see the track. He couldn't see the flagman.
Oh, okay.
Where he was sitting at, it became where he was sitting at, it became to the point to where he was unable to see what was
Like,
going on. It
People
didn't
got
start
around
that way.
him. Yeah.
With
Okay.
dust on the, whether he was in a booth, dust on the glass, whatever it was. It became to a point to where he couldn't see the track and what was going on. So he was trying to better his position to be in a spot where he could make the calls. I think that part of this, and I give kudos, and I also kind of hold High Limit accountable a little bit, is because when they travel track to track to track, they're not bringing their own flagman with them every race. Whoever the flagman at
Right.
the track is who's flagging the race, which is cool because that flagman who is there on every Saturday night waving Tom, Dick, and Harry in gets to throw a checkered flag for a Brad Sweet or a Rico or a Corey Day or whatever. But lacking that continuity, perhaps, is where this is an issue.
Well, don't they bring their own scorekeepers? Wouldn't they be the ones being able to say, "Hey, 5 to go," next white flag on the next lap, whatever the case may be?
I mean, I don't know. I can't answer that question. I don't know if they do.
Because I mean,
that-
most places
the
nowadays run off a
scorekeepers-
computer, right?
Scorekeepers nowadays is MyLabs.
Mhm.
Well, it's still
Yeah.
somebody got to be looking at it, and then you got to be relaying that information back to the race director, flagman, whoever, to say, "Hey, there's 10 to go, 5 to go, or whatever the lineup may be." Somebody's reading that off of the MyLabs computer.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, one of the things that World Outlaws did for years was they had, Doug Clark, the flagman forever, and he went everywhere with them. And I think that's, kind of the way to go. There's, Doug Clark's the black guy who flagged World Outlaws for years. He's retired, I think, 3 or 4 years ago. But he was amazing, and I think it's the way to go is have a flagman that's touring with the series.
Is it now? It's easy for us to sit here on Monday and then go back and nitpick and everything, but is it feasible or an option for High Limit to bring a lap counter with them that they put in the flag stand that runs off of Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or something, where the scorer can tick down a lap every time, and then the flagman, yes, he should be counting laps and doing what he's supposed to do or listening to whatever's going on, but if he also has a lap counter in front of him, that could also alleviate this issue. Now, again, to my knowledge, this is the first time this has happened in High Limit's existence, and this is their second full time.
Well, some tracks got the pylon on turn 1, for example. It has the running order and laps to go, lap counter,
Mhm.
where that obviously helps the flagman to peek over there and now and again to say, "Okay, we got 5 to go," or whatever the case may be.
Well, I mean, every flagman everywhere has a radio, and somebody's telling them the lap
No.
count in their ear. I mean, it's a mistake. Shit happens. It's
And I haven't seen where Brad has said anything wrong about it or complained I mean, I feel like he took it and said, "Okay, I'll just go out and kick your ass next time and make up where I'm
Yep.
at."
Well, essentially,
Well-
I mean, it's kind of like that race, 2 years ago when they were racing in Dakota, somewhere, North Dakota, South Dakota, one of those on the Dakota tour, and they threw the white flag, and then the leader pulled off the track, and everybody followed him, and then the guy on the radio is like, "That was the white flag," and you see people trying to pile back out of the pit area to get back on the track to finish the lap. It happens
around
to
and-
racers.
Well, I mean, it happens to everybody. Mark Martin did it in Cup one year. I mean, it is what it is. But I want to get to the second point of that, Neil, than what you were talking about. Brad Sweet got DQ'd, and you said something about a point shakeup. What happened in points, man? What happened?
well, he gets
So-
last place points for DQ.
He got last place.
He just
points,
wants
and
to.
Well, I mean, so he was leading the points going in. Did he have enough points to keep holding that lead, or what happened?
No, he did not. We now have Tyler Courtney as the leader. Brad Sweet swinging, and my boy, boom, boom, Rico coming to third now, baby. And we got Brent,
I knew it was coming to
Brent
that.
Marks, Aaron Rutzel, Justin Peck, and Casey Kane in 7th. And that's for the main schedule. Now, if we look at the midweek schedule, Brad lost out in that too. He was leading, but now, boom, boom, Rico's number 1, baby. Brad second,
Hey.
Aaron Rutzel third, and Tyler Courtney's 4th.
Hey, shout out to Casey King because it really looks like he's coming back from whatever. Whatever
I was going to
was.
bring that up, yeah, because there for a while. It was just kind of like he was a back marker, but now it seems like he's actually in the mix.
Well, he's
I'll
got
say
his
this-
feeling back. He can do the length of the races without the fatigue issue he's having. So, I mean, hell yeah, welcome
Well,
back, dude.
I don't know
Yeah.
what was going on because he was pitted next to us at Chili Bowl 3 years ago, and I'm telling you, man, that guy was out of it. There was something messed up in his head. He was like walking
Yeah.
around like a zombie. And whatever it was, he seems to have made a recovery from it. Like we had Thomas and I had a conversation about this offline, a couple of months ago, that he just didn't seem right to me. But it seems like he's getting better. I don't know if it's through therapy or just time. I don't know. But I always like Casey Kane in a dirt car.
And I mean, in the beginning of this year, he was having his success without a crew chief because there was that whole thing where he wasn't going to run a full schedule, so crew chiefs moved around, and Brad Sweet's old crew chief was going to become like a team manager basically, and then they pulled him to be a car crew chief, and then he left, and so I mean, a lot of good things are going with Casey. Plus, you see the sponsorships are back. The car's not gray no more. Holy hell, he's got stickers on it, boys.
Hell
Like,
yeah, there we go.
Man,
Speaking of stickers,
Gotta love the stickers.
yeah,
Oh,
that was
is
my
there
intro.
something about stickers?
Speaking of
Is there
stickers,
something going on with stickers?
That
So,
was
uh,
the
I
intro.
mean, come on.
so
Stickers.
last podcast we talked about the guy who rhymes with Raz stirring up David Gravel's team over having to put high limit stickers on their wing to run a high limit race. Duh. Sanctioning bodies want you to run their logos. So he stirred up enough crap where High Limit responded. And they said, yeah, if you want to run our series, we want all your High Limit stickers. And oh, by the way, take the World Outlaw stickers off too, which I think's well within their right. Don't run a competing series stickers on during our races. I still wish this butthead was shut the hell up. He's posted numerous videos where he's just still digging at this with the Gravel crew, and so they've got their part in it too. The Gravel and his crew chief and crew and everything are responding. I forget what they called Brad Sweet, but it was the Ginger Kitty. That's the Gravel crew's nickname for Brad Sweet. Basically saying he's butthurt about the whole sticker thing. Again, you can't run NASCAR without running a NASCAR sticker.
If you've got millions of dollars of your own money into something, run my stickers.
Yeah, F1.
Even
you have to run F1 stickers.
I mean, even down to IMCA, we have to run IMCA stickers on the back of the cars. Like, it's everywhere.
Yeah, and here's the thing: you don't have to run IMCA stickers. NASCAR guys don't have to run NASCAR stickers. World Outlaws guys racing high limit races don't have to run high limit stickers unless you want points and money.
Yeah, you can run the fucking race, no problem. But if you ain't got our contingency stickers, get fucked.
Yeah, nobody's making you put the stickers on. But if you want points and money, you better put stickers on.
Yeah, you want to give me the possibility for money? I'll put any freaking sticker on my car.
Well,
Yeah,
John,
if
we
you
might
want-
have a proposition for you.
You give me money, I'll put any fucking sticker on my car.
Neil, then we got to get together.
If
We
you
need
want
to
to
talk.
if you want to take the moral high ground and say I'm not running that stickers that competes against the series I run in, good, do that, and do that by saying I'm not running it and I'm running this race for a trophy only. I'm not eligible for any purse money. I'm not eligible for any points. I'm here for the trophy. And if you do that,
Right.
I will tip my hat to you because then you really do believe in what you're saying. Until
And
then,
if you win, we're giving. Yeah, if
until
you
then,
win, we're giving 100 grand to second place.
Yeah, until then, shut the fuck up.
No.
That should be a new.
Marshall. Say it right.
But
All right,
speaking of shut
gonna-
the fuck up, it's a new
gotta
segment.
keep this thing rolling here. Somewhere out in the south in the Mississippi area was a big modified race, and I think Brandon was the one watching that. Why don't you tell us what happened there, Brandon?
It's not in Mississippi.
So the Mississippi
Missouri.
Thunder Speedway is in Fountain
In
City,
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Fountain City, Wisconsin. But 93 drivers checked into that deal for 3 days shootout, the Modified World Championship. A couple big late model guys, previous modified guys, got some rides in that deal. One Ricky Thornton Jr., for example, didn't even make the A main. Done blowed her up, right? Leading the B main blowed her up. But so he didn't make it. Ryan Gustin made it. He finished like top 10. But anyways, Drake Troutman, monumental victory for that guy. Let me tell you, $100,025 to win that deal. Obviously, full of heavy hitters. 75 lap main event. What do you guys know about racing tires lately in 75 laps? They usually don't last.
I hope I make
usually
20.
make it.
Most of the time, they don't last. And if you've seen some of the posts floating around Facebook, some of the like, Tom Berry Jr., for example, I think he was like 30 laps into that deal and dilapidated his rear tire, one of his rear tires. DNF that deal. But Tanner Mullen started on a pole, led the first 10 laps. Obviously under heavy fire every single lap, but he was leading it. Drake Troutman took over lap 11. Jake Tim got by him on like lap 22-ish. So about almost to the halfway mark, getting close to the halfway mark. Then Tyler Nicely showed up on a restart and got into the lead there. So, I mean, there was obviously some solid racing going on there, with Troutman taking back over command on lap 32 and finished it out from there. The deal with that is obviously this is the biggest win of Drake's career, but you're not Jim Chisholm, for example. He's running USMTS every week, right? He's pretty quick. Rodney Sanders, Tyler Nicely, Kyle Strickler coming back down to the from late models. It's not the easiest thing to do. I mean, to be honest with you, it's not very easy. The stock cars with the filler class, so it's kind of cool to watch that because they'd be like ran the E main for modifieds, for example, and then the next class onto the track was like a C main for the stock cars or a B main for the stock cars. So every other race was a stock car modified. If you know anything about dirt track racing, stock cars put on one hell of a show. Modifieds always put on a hell of a show, but I sent you guys a video earlier. Stock car getting rolled over there in the B main. Fired that son bitch back up and rejoined the field, right? So it's like they're just wired a little different when you see some of these guys running. Thomas, did you watch any part of that?
Oh yeah, I watched the whole thing.
So they call it a third mile, but that son of a bitch looks huge.
Well, they called it the big third mile. I think third mile is from the inside of the tractor tires, not the track side of the tractor tires, the inside of the tractor tires.
That's a massive guy's track. And when they said when I originally was getting ready to watch it, they said third mile, whatever, and I was like, okay. But when I initially turned it on Flow, I was like, that's not a third mile anywhere close to what I know a third mile to be, because that son of a bitch is huge. So you saw, I don't know, like Lance Murray, for example, at Arizona. The line that they were running, like some guys was able to hit the bottom, but some of those guys would just like push like a dump truck. So I'm not sure like how that track was laid out.
Well,
but
so
it looked hard.
It looked to me like a lot of those guys were going into quarter set in the car and digging frame rail. And when they would hit the frame rail, it would push the car up the track because you could see like a chunk of mud coming off from behind the right front and they lose the nose and push up. I mean, that's the name of the game now, man, is get your frame down into the track. Obviously not in the track where you're digging, but you want to get that frame rail as close to the track as you can. On my 2019 GRT, I physically cannot get it down in the track because of the way the car was built, the way the lower A-arms mounted on the chassis. So the point that I'm going for is how close can I get the frame horn to the lower control arm before it starts pushing and bending that lower control arm, which is what I've been fighting now. But I mean, like I said, I watched that whole thing. Old Medford went from an E to a B. Like
Charlie Medford
buddy.
was on the money, buddy. He was the E main. He was like what, a straightaway out when he won the E main. He was gone.
Yep. So, but yeah, a lot of cool stuff. Like you said, Ricky was gonna walk away with that B, and then he was gonna be something to fuck around with in the A main. But
Yeah.
damn it,
I mean, Jason Hughes, for example, shout out to Jason Hughes. He the Hughes row is what they called it. He fielded
Mhm.
what 4 or 5 modifieds. Ryan
I think it
Dustin
was
was
4.
in a house car. Ricky Thornton was in his personal car. His son was in a car, and somebody else was in the other car. I know they had a whole row of guys. So shout out to Jason Hughes. Sat out that one to put some heavy hitters in the seats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for $100,025,
Don't forget
you
the
put some heavy
$25.
that's what really puts it over the top. I won't run for 100,000, but that 25 that really makes it worth it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I tell you what,
and yeah,
93
I'm-
cars.
invite only.
Invite
gonna
only 93 cars.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to show up for $1 less than 100,024.
So add $1 to get you there.
Oh man, but no, it was good. Stock car race was really good. I'm still unfamiliar with all the differences between the USRA and the IMCA stock cars, but I mean Charneski was there, and some of them USRA boys, big USRA boys were there, and I mean everything looked pretty equal.
So that's that you bring it up. IMCA and USRA obviously are competing series around the Midwest, and a
Hey,
lot
do
of
they
the
have to run-
IMCA
do they have
guys.
to run stickers?
No.
They don't have to.
So
They
here's the
should.
deal: is you'll see a guy run like Boone on Saturday night, or run Webster City, which is USRA, on Friday night with the same car. They just change tires and a carburetor,
Yeah,
and they keep up. I mean, the USRA cars have a little more room compared to the IMCA car, but with the change of the carburetor and tires, they're right in the mix. And you've seen Derek Green, for example, IMCA guy running USRA. A lot of those IMCA guys were there. You've seen it, like you said, Cole Zarneski, for example.
yeah,
A lot of those guys, David Brown, Kyle Brown. Obviously, Kyle Brown's the owner of Harris Auto Chassis or whatever,
Yeah.
racing chassis.
Harris
They
Racing.
were both there, so he just ran Boone last week with his IMCA modified. So it's like they're not, the rule package isn't very much different besides the tires and carburetor for stock cars, really.
Well, and I mean just to keep up with that IMCA stuff and whatnot, like Tom Berry Jr. was there, and
That
I
fucking
mean that looked
tire
like
came the fuck apart. Did you see that?
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean it's like level of competition. David Strimmy, Mr. Lethal, where was he at? Lap down. That's what happened.
We're still
Like,
looking for everybody.
I know, like it's insane because these are guys that on any given night on any track can absolutely lay an ass whooping down when they looked like they were standing still at that track. Like that was awesome. Bring it back. I know they will. $1,026. Or $100,026. Let's go.
I'm sure that's coming back because that was
Yeah.
that was a fun fucking weekend of racing to watch right there, boys.
So when did David
Yeah.
Stremme become Mr. Lethal? That sounds a little self-appointed there.
The lethal chassis,
Lethal chassis. Yep.
and he obviously took some heavy hitters with him to lethal when he started building lethals. Ricky Thornton Jr. was in a lethal. Tom Berry Jr. was in a lethal. All your heavy hitters were in a lethal chassis when those first hit the market. And
Yep.
Brenda Kirby's husband, didn't he have the lethal one? Because they're the ones that got him his hand controls and everything built in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So lethal was the car to beat for a long time, but like Colin Hibden moved into a Longhorn chassis after he bought out Eldorado Speed Shop. Now it's
Hey, speak-
awesome race cars.
Speaking of Longhorn, did you see that Garrett Alberson got Fred back already?
Fred is back and running. Fred is running.
Damn.
He is taking it to Eldora. I saw the video. It was posted a half an hour before we started recording. Fred was running in the shop
Nice.
and with a body on it
Nice.
and everything.
Nice turnaround, fellas.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh
Shut
shit.
up. Well, now that
That thing
they're
was
doing
messed
everything in
up.
house, including shocks, it doesn't matter, I guess.
Right.
Bill Steen.
Bill Stein.
Shut up.
All right, moving on. We have back to Raz for a race out at Knoxville called the Corn Belt Clash.
Yeah, the Corn Belt Clash, Knoxville, obviously, historic sprint car track, and they have the Sprint Car Hall of Fame there. Again, shout out to California racer Damian Gardner for his induction to the National
Demon.
Sprint Car Hall of Fame. The Demon.
Don't you love that guy?
I do love that guy. That guy's a fucking badass.
I have a lot of respect for that guy, but one of the last races he ran, he and I had a little run in.
There's a video of it. I've seen it. Raz
Blue
running across the track.
disagreement.
He's also cut his car out of the catch fence in turn 3 at Paris.
I was there that night.
I was there too.
That was freaking awesome. They
All right. Anyways,
So anyway, 2 nights of racing. The first night was won by Brady Bacon. He did not run that race flag to flag. He had to battle for that a little bit. Chase Stockton led the majority of that race, and then Brady Bacon and Briggs Danner battled for it late. Danner finished second. Ballou finished fourth. It was a fun race to watch. I did end up watching it on Flow. It was a good time. The track up at Knoxville is up on the fence. You hang that right rear on the fence and let her eat. So it's always fun to watch a race like that. The 2 was won by Kevin Thomas Jr. And Kevin Thomas Jr. and his dad have developed a product that I think every racer should get behind. It's called Inferno Armor. You can spray it on your fire suit, and it reduces your ability to transfer heat and makes it more fire resistant. They have a demo on their website where they spray this stuff on a paper towel and then take a torch to the paper towel, and you cannot get the paper towel to burn. So there's a free product
Shout out.
endorsement for you.
Yeah.
it's just like an aerosol spray can.
It's like a squirt bottle. I bought a bottle of it at Chili Bowl, and then TSA decided to distribute it through my entire suitcase. So all those clothes in there now are completely fireproof.
Completely
Good to
fair.
go, baby.
So in the event an emergency crash landing, your luggage would have been fine.
Right.
Yeah, your fucking suitcase, the only thing that didn't burn.
Yeah.
Also, 3 people here might be looking for sponsors if you want to send us a bottle. Just saying. I'll throw a sticker on my car for anything. Almost.
Be careful,
anything,
John.
Brand.
Be careful, John.
Me and Neil didn't have to get together because Bridger's about to have some kind of sticker on his automobile, and it's going to be
I'm
great.
telling you.
Anal bean
money
tug of
talks.
war champion.
Money talks. I will throw that shit on my car.
But that was first win this season for KTJ, Kevin Thomas Jr. He's had some tough luck this year. The Friday night he had a right rear shock that blew apart, and that took him out of contention. But he kept it together for Saturday night, and Ryan Bernal finished second. Kyle Cummins finished third. Good race there. Again, another fun one to watch. But like I said, the highlight to me was the new USAC National Sprint Car Hall of Fame induction. Well deserved. Even though I came to Chase Johnson's defense against the Demon and Santa Maria Speedway, I still respect Demon as a driver. Another guy who's just a maniac in a good way. The guy could definitely wheel a car. He didn't make any friends, I'll tell you that.
It usually happens when you're
Yeah.
trying to race lights out. But while you're on the topic of Knoxville, did you see the Manzanita Speedway memorial they have set up in there?
I did not, but that's cool.
I'll send it to you later. Brad Whitfield was up there with Kenny Schrader, and they posted some pictures, so I'll send it to the group chat later because I don't know if I can find it relatively quickly or not.
Yeah, Manzanita was a legendary track in Arizona. It was amazing. Speaking of tracks, I heard some NASCAR driver might have bought a track, and it's not. Kevin
Yeah.
Harvick.
No, surprisingly enough, not. No, Matt Tifft has bought Mansfield Speedway out in Ohio, and he is planning on getting it going again. So it went through a lot of changes here. It went through dirt, pavement, dirt. Uh, so right now it is a 0.44 mile oval, uh, hosted truck series from 2004 to 2008. Had some Lucas Oil late model from until 2017, 2017 to 19. But then it closed down. Matt Tift has bought that speedway and plans on resurrecting it and getting it going again by 2026. Looks like he's going to go dirt for the time being, because he says it's going to cost about $2.5 million to put it back to pavement. So that's obviously a lot of money right off the bat. But it's nice to see tracks going again and coming back, not just going away. It's nice to see people like Matt, who's he had a limited NASCAR trucks and Xfinity career. He's back into the late models, but using what he can to bring racing back and not let it die. So even if it's just a track that does dirt for, it's great to see tracks coming back. We mentioned a couple of tracks a few weeks back when we had our West Coast edition. Blaney's getting into the Sharon Speedway with his dad. I forget the name of the other one, but out in
Santa
Ohio.
Maria.
Santa Maria is coming back, but there was another one in the Midwest, like I say, Ohio or something. I think that people are trying to get it back and not make it excuse me, just a racetrack, make it a multi-purpose venue. Matt's ultimate vision for this is concerts, monster trucks, entertainment venue. Exactly. If he paves the other track, he's got 180 total acres. He could make a dirt track next to it and keep racing going. So I think that's great. Matt's been doing okay in the dirt late model. Like I say, he's had his limited Xfinity and trucks career, had a brain tumor diagnosis in 2019, kind of sidelined him, but he's healthy enough to get back in a car. So, like I said, I just think it's great that people are getting racing back going and not just letting it die and selling that land off to developers.
I think it's fantastic.
More
I've had a
tracks is
conversation.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with Trish and Todd at IMCA, does a promoters convention where they get them all together, and that's something that IMCA preaches, is using your tracks for more than just a racetrack. Use it to bring in other stuff, like Verona does monster trucks. You could bring in concerts, whatever, and that keeps the facility alive, which in turn keeps racing going without having to have racing there every single weekend to pay the bills.
Yeah, and I mean, Verona, that's our local track here in San Diego. It's a smallish track. You're not going to have a giant concert. You're going to have the monster trucks, which pulled in 10,000 people this year. Plus, they ran out of room this year, so it's obviously worth it. Even in the off season, you have one concert every couple of months. You have one little thing every couple of months. That's better than nothing, and it keeps the track on people's mind. Like, hey, we should come here in the summer and see what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
I hear those pier stocks give on a hell of a show
when they're not wrecking each other.
Shut up.
Put on a solid game of grab ass for 20 laps.
Or if they're not trying to take the damn flagger out. Fuck.
Okay, there's that.
You just
Sport
don't know which
mods
way
are
they're going to
usually
go.
good.
That's all.
Sport mods are usually good. Modifieds are, shit show usually.
What about dwarf cars?
Dwarf cars generally are okay.
They're usually handled by about 2 or 3 drivers.
Yeah,
you can take a choice of the 2 or 3, and the rest of the people are fighting for, 3rd or 4th, 5th.
The rest of you might as well pull off after a little bit, but yeah.
So before we go, I'm going to throw my nomination for Dirty Slider of the week, and it's not even a dirty slider because it happened on asphalt. How about Brandon Gomes for taking out Kevin Harvick, going for the lead, just straight dumped him. Took out the top 3. 4th place spun to avoid. Who's sitting in 5th? Some guy named Keelan Harvick got his first
Right.
victory.
Yep.
I mean, they
Keelan-
were tugging doors for a couple of laps there before that shit sandwich took on. So I mean, it was eventually coming from somebody. It's just who was going to lay it to the next guy first.
Yeah, but he dumped him for sure.
Yeah.
But like I said, they were beating and banging laps before that. So eventually, somebody's going to get pissed off enough to dump somebody. That's going to happen.
Yeah, but you might not want to dump the guy who the track's named after.
This is facts.
Why? So he's different from the next guy?
Yes, because the track is named after him.
Well, that
So
don't mean
should
fucking.
Brad Sweet
If you're
been allowed to
strapped
keep his
into a
eye?
race car, if
No,
you're
I'm
going to
just saying.
drive people a certain way, then expect to get driven
Okay.
that same way.
Are you saying that Harvick drove him dirty?
I'm saying that they obviously were beating fenders for a couple of laps before that
Okay.
incident even happened.
But then Gomes turned right, like you could see the car turned right as he had
Right front was going down.
right.
Well,
Here
and
we go.
it probably softened the blow just a little bit that Keelan won.
Yeah.
So
that's
had
probably the only-
Keelan not won, I'm sure it would have been a bigger deal. But Keelan won, so Kevin had to be like, "Oh, that's okay."
It's probably the only thing that kept Kevin Harvick out of his window was the fact that
Probably.
Smashing his glasses on the roof of his car, like we've seen before.
All right, so looking forward to this coming weekend. We got a big race out in Eldora. If somebody wants to sponsor Raz, a couple $100 to go watch that thing.
Hey, it's only
Um,
3 hours. It's only 3 hours away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so $400 will get them there if you want to shoot them a couple.
Yeah, but it's called
500 will get him a dinner.
it's called The Dream, and I've kind of been paying attention a little bit. There's a couple of paint schemes or wraps that have been debuted as of this recording, and I would like to toss those up on the screen real quick.
I've seen
boys.
a white and blue one that I liked pretty well. Did you see that one
haven't
too?
seen any.
Sober?
I'm gonna start. Yeah, I'm gonna start with that one. Okay, so this is
Hunt the front
is
guys had a cool one.
32. Yep, this is the 32 car of Bobby Pierce. Now, this is his dad's car, Bob Pierce. Okay, so this is the rep that he's going for. If you look down here in the corner, in front of or just behind the left front tire, there's an exhaust hole, kind of like what you see in like the stock car, the Cars Tour, and whatnot.
Okay.
Look at that.
Bitchin'.
They put the exhaust hole in. No, it's not a hole in the car, but it's
It's on the wrap.
Yeah, it's on the wrap to match it. Now, Bobby Pierce got his name there on the 32. You go back here, it says Bob Pierce right there. Name of the car there, cool one. His is Smooth Operator. Like, I mean, it's just an absolutely badass car, wrapped from the quarters all the way to the decking and
That's
roof.
a sexy car, boys.
Yeah,
It's
that
got the old school lettering in it and everything. Like, kudos to Bobby Pierce on
Yeah,
this.
it
This
looks-
is badass.
Looks like
Yeah.
hand painted lettering. It's not obviously it's a wrap.
Yeah.
But it looks like hand painted
Right.
lettering.
that is very
And-
cool. Throwback to his dad. Also, very cool
And,
number. I'm just saying.
Very biased.
Yeah. And I do dig the way that the wheel are on there, the mud plugs. His fire suit looks pretty good to match it. Like, all in all, a good looking thing here.
That is
I'm
nice.
gonna go on to the next one.
Bring it.
Hunt the Front. Hunt the Front has done a special wrap. I think every year they've gone to Eldora, and last year they also did another red, white, and blue theme.
Hey, that
Which
looks
was
just like
badass,
Bobby
but
Pierce's.
This one,
Same one.
oh, it didn't switch over.
I'm still
Looks just
looking
like-
at Bobby
looks,
Pierce.
Looks like just like
Mhm.
Bobby Pierce's, man. He got to be mad about them copying his rap.
I didn't know it
Yeah,
didn't
they should
switch
change the
over,
stickers.
boys. Hold on.
Hey,
Come on, man.
There. Does that one show it?
We don't claim to be experts here.
There
Is
you
that
go.
it?
Well, there you go.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
is.
I think this one's even better than the one they did last year. I kind of wish there was a couple of different camera views than what they got here. That's the top of the car. I love that they did the feather
Oh,
wrap.
that's bitching
feathering.
right there.
Yep. But I mean, look.
would you just
That
look
is
at
pretty
it?
bitchin'. What did the
Oh,
person taking the
that's good.
pictures drink too much and they were passed out on the freaking grass the whole
Just-
time?
Every one of them, like they're laying on the ground.
Someone decided to get a little
Jesus
decided to get a little
Right there.
artsy with that. Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
Just
there
like
you go.
that.
There's the pose right there. That's what we're looking for.
That's his new profile photo on OnlyFans.
Yeah. Yeah.
buddy.
Whatever happened to get chicks with bikinis to do like calendar photo shoots with race cars? This would be a
Hey,
perfect opportunity for that.
Oh, who knows?
That's sexist.
No, it's not.
Okay.
But like
you're
I
right.
said,
Just
I
want-
went
just
looking
want
through trying to
you
find
guys to
some.
know, if you want to take any artsy bikini photos with your race car, I am available.
Oh my God, Dirty Sliders 2026 calendar.
Is it? I bet you
I'll wait.
if we talk to Cassie and Steven's girlfriend, we could probably get
And
the
Jessica,
girls
yeah.
in on that deal. Jessica and
Hey,
Cassie,
Cassie.
get it set up.
Well,
Hey,
yeah,
Cassie,
they're
would
not
you
gonna
take
they're not
bikini
gonna be
photos with
in
my
it.
car?
Well, no, they're gonna set Raz up to do it.
Wait, I want to see what Cassie said. What Cassie say?
She said, "Fuck no."
Well, for
I
a couple
figured
$100 bucks, I'm
That's
sure
what
she'd
I
be
figured
into
she
it.
was gonna say. Now,
The
okay,
whole-
Thomas. Now,
I want you to know my
Thomas, now ask her-
feelings are really hurt that you guys don't want me to do it.
no, I want you to do it.
What
No,
a dick!
You
I
just
love
gotta
when
do
it
it
makes
in
you
front-
happy. Just don't show
you
me.
just got to do it in front of your stuff that you have going on. Cassie, now ask, or Thomas, now ask Cassie if she'll take pictures of you in a bikini in front of your race car.
Would you take pictures of me in a bikini in front of my race car?
That would be funny.
She said that would be funny.
See,
we could
I
could
know.
pull this off
King Pride.
with green screen technology. I could pose in my bikini here in Kentucky, and we could have it in front of your car in California.
I heard
Right.
John's pretty good with that stuff.
I could make that happen.
Raz,
could-
send fucking Bridger a bunch of pictures and you a speedo.
Here's the thing: we could post them on Patreon, and it's $2 to see the pictures and $15 so you never have to see them.
Yep.
I say
paywall.
we do it, and then we give Bridger a Dirty Slider sponsorship, and the picture is Raz in a bikini on the hood of the car. He said he'd put anything on it.
He already said he'd do it, so me and
Oh.
Neil will have a couple of things we can talk about to get on old Bridger's car here.
I look really good. I look really good in gold lame.
Oh, like Princess Leia?
Yeah,
Hey, if I
Hey,
get a picture of Raz in a
I already have the Cinnabons.
yeah, if I get a picture of Raz in the Princess Leia gold bikini, I will put that on my car. Absolutely,
Do
hand
it, Raz. Drink
I
another
mean,
one
she's
of those
got-
Modelo's to get this fired up.
I ain't scared.
Me neither. I'll do it. They'll be like, look at that car. That's the best car out there. He may
Why is
not
that
win
guy-
a lot,
Yeah.
but god damn it, looks good.
Why is this guy's balls hanging down by his kneecaps there in that picture on the back of the car?
All right, back on track. You got any more paint schemes
Yep.
for us?
Oh, good God.
No, but I wanna maybe propose something here. As
No,
we
that
get
was
closer to the dream, there might be some more special wraps that come out or whatever. We could take a collection of the special wraps from the dream weekend, and then we'll do like a competition on our Facebook or Instagram or whatever, like rap versus rap, and see who our viewers think had the best rap at the dream this weekend.
That'd be a
Oh,
good
heck
idea.
yeah. I'm down for that.
Stay tuned to our socials for said voting incoming.
More fun stuff. All
And
12
whoever
of our
who,
listeners will freaking vote.
whoever has the most votes for the best rap has to go against Raz and the Leah bikini.
Oh, they
Oh.
don't stand a chance. I'll smoke those guys going
Yeah.
in turn one.
Yeah, hands down.
Fuck. Dirty
Nope,
Slider.
that's all I
ain't
got.
going.
God,
Yeah.
this went off the rails.
Yeah,
So,
as it normally does.
What's he doing? What's he doing?
Oh,
Uh,
Jesus Christ. Who's editing this video
Hey.
this week?
that
Moderator.
just might be.
Moderator,
That
get this
just
shit
might
back on
be the
track.
short that puts us over the top on YouTube. That's the one that's going to get 10 million views.
Send it.
Hey, hey, I feel like a little girl.
Oh,
You
God.
better send that
In the
as a
words-
short. You better do it as a
In the
short. Bridger.
words, In the words of Rodney Carrington, if you're a big fat man, I'm a titty fan, and I'd love to see yours too.
Oh,
Rodney Carrington's a fucking G. I love that guy too.
Oh,
He's like this big with a cowboy hat on it, but he's funnier
Yeah.
now.
yeah. God damn. That was
All
Titties
right.
and, titties
Paint
and beer.
titties and beer.
Rap schemes.
Yep. Yep.
Moderator,
okay.
where are we at?
Yeah, where
We
we
are
at?
at the conclusion of this thing. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to toss this over to Bridger to give us all of our socials and everything, and then Neil can sign us off.
So socials, Dirty Sliders on Facebook, at Dirty Sliders on Instagram, at dirty.sliders on Instagram, and at Dirty Sliders on X. Sorry, I got them all mixed up there. I got them out.
He's still showing his titties.
At
Like, comment,
Raz's
subscribe.
titties on OnlyFans. That's our new socials.
Jesus Christ.
All right, Neil, then get us out of here.
Someone
Quick,
else
Folks,
can listen
thank
to
you
this
so much for
tomorrow. And
listening to us for episode 34 is in the books. We went up, we went down, we went left, we went right, we slid, we tittied. We were all over the place this week, but I hope it was entertaining. I hope you had fun spending your time with us, and we appreciate you listening to a bunch of us. But luckily, I don't think we had any major technical difficulties this time, so that's a round of applause for us. We had minor ones, but we're getting
We're
better. We're
no,
not
we're
professional.
no experts.
So if you like it, let us know on our socials. If you hate it, let us know on our socials. If you want to join us, maybe we'll do something where we have a fan come on one week. We always have race car
Oh, hell
drivers
yeah.
and promoters. Let's bring a fan in. So hit us up on our socials. Let us know if you're interested. And thank you again for watching, subscribing, liking, sharing. And as always, don't have too much fun. Don't get a dirty slider. Get your ass kicked.
see ya.
Deuces.